Hi everyone, I'm so glad to be with you as always for Meditation Monday. And today I wanted to focus on challenging feelings and giving you all an opportunity to perhaps work with a feeling that's hard, that feels like a challenge to be with and be in your system, and see what we can do. So just bringing a little relief and peace to that feeling that might be challenging. I was recently reminded, I had a session with one of my clients this week, and she was dealing with some feelings that were very, very intense. And the type of therapy that I practice, internal family systems, is so amazing with feelings that we find challenging because of the way that we are able to really move aside some of the shame or even the hatred that we might have toward feelings that are challenging, and really be with them and understand them. And so we all know in our own external relationships with friends, with family, if we don't feel understood, then we're not as open. And such is the case internally with our feelings, and certainly the ones that are the most challenging. So my hope for us today is that I'm able to kind of guide you all through perhaps a relatively new experience of being with these types of feelings that are really challenging. So go ahead and get comfortable where you are. I'm sitting on my meditation cushion today. So you can cross your legs, you can have your feet on the floor if you're sitting in a chair or you're choosing some sort of back support. And go ahead and close your eyes when you're ready. And we're just going to tune in. And taking a couple deep breaths together, inhaling and exhaling, and another inhalation through the nose, slight pause at the top, and exhale through the mouth. And a third one together. So just tuning in now to your body and just giving it a little scan to see if there are any areas of discomfort or tension. And just noticing your body, and as you breathe into it, just noting how your system feels in general today, right here, right now. And so go ahead and just tune in to an incident or circumstance or a feeling perhaps that you can even just get in touch with right now that's brought up some challenging feeling. So if it's not right there in your system, this challenging feeling that you've been struggling with, you can just kind of scan back on an incident or a circumstance that was in fact challenging and what it was that you were feeling in that moment. And as you do that, let's just go ahead and tune in again to your body, and if that feeling resides anywhere in your body, if it has a particular location or a sensation that it expresses through your body. And I'm going to give you just a minute of silence to just really tune into that and give yourself this gift of just being with that difficult feeling for a minute. And perhaps as you get in touch with this feeling, because it's challenging, there may be another part of your system that doesn't want you to have this feeling. So just go ahead and see if there's any part of your system that perhaps doesn't want you to be having this feeling. And if you can just name it in your mind. Sometimes we hate the feelings that are ugly or difficult. Sometimes we judge those feelings. Sometimes we shame those feelings. So just tune in if there's any other aspect of you that's in judgment or not wanting you to experience the feelings that have been challenging or difficult. And as you give that part of yourself that doesn't like the difficult feelings very much, as you give that part of yourself a little attention, just notice what happens. And if it feels right to you, you can even go ahead and ask this aspect of you that doesn't want you to have intense or negative feelings. Just go ahead and ask it if it has anything to share with you. And we're going to get back to the feeling also that is uncomfortable. But for right now, let's just check your system to see if there's another part of you that really doesn't like having this negative feeling. And checking in with it, just go ahead and see if it has any information to give you. If it has a voice. And so it's almost as though this aspect of you that doesn't want the difficult feelings to be there, you can regard it as almost separate from your core, from who you really are. or rather that this is just an aspect of you right now that we're exploring a little bit and just getting to know. So allowing this element of you to have a voice if it needs to have a voice right now, and really showing you why it doesn't like the feeling that's challenging. It's very likely that this part is protecting your system, protecting you from perhaps being out of control or being overcome by a feeling that's challenging. So just take a minute. I'm going to give you another minute of silence to be with this aspect that is interacting and having a reaction to the feelings that are challenging, and allow it to have a voice. Allow it to teach you a little bit about how it might be protecting you. And as you discover this, just give it some appreciation. If it's giving you any information at all that you can appreciate, just go ahead and really honor it and give it some appreciation now. What is this part trying to do for you and your system? So if you haven't already, go ahead and really thank this part for the information that it's given you and that it's shared. And just let it know that we'll return to it before we come out of this meditation. But now we're going to turn our attention to this feeling that perhaps you've been experiencing that is uncomfortable. And when you have that, just name it so that this part of you that has been taking over a bit or has been maybe a little louder or bigger than usual, that it really just gets to have a name. And really just be acknowledged by you. And just see this feeling as a part of yourself that is in fact separate from who you truly are, from your inner wisdom. So that it's almost as though you're separate inside, and the you that you are, that is wise and balanced, that's caring, it's almost as though that part of you is kind of crouching down and speaking now to this feeling that has been present and uncomfortable. And go ahead and let it know that you are here, separate from it, and that you see it and you want to know it. So really, from the wise part of you, just giving this uncomfortable feeling some permission to exist, to be there as a part of your system and just one aspect of you. So really just give to it in this way right now, just acknowledging it. And I'll give you a minute of silence for this, to really let it know that you're here, that you and your wisdom exist, and that you see it, that you get it, and in fact that you care about it. So just extending some of that caring, loving energy toward it now. And paying attention too to how it reacts to your care, to your tenderness. Does the part of you that has this uncomfortable feeling relax at all as you care about it, as you extend compassion toward it? And does it have anything to share with you? Does it have a need? Perhaps it really just wants to be acknowledged. And if it does have any fears or concerns, go ahead as the wise, caring part that is totally capable. Go ahead and let it know that you're here and that you are able to handle the big feelings or this feeling, whatever it is, that you really get it, that you really care about it. And just tune in if it needs anything from you. And if it does need something and you're willing to commit, go ahead and let it know that as well, so that you're interacting with it almost like a parent would, a good parent with a child. And again, I'll give you a minute of silence to have this interaction, to really be with this part, and really giving it some space and allowing for some dialogue to really discover what it might need and what it might need in the moment from you, from the wise part of you. And if you haven't already, really let this part know that you care for it, that you are committed to it. If you made any sort of commitment, to just acknowledge it, or just be with it, or feel it in the moment inside. Or if you need to remove yourself from a situation to spend a little time with it, that you would do that. But really just honoring the interaction time that you just had, and really remaining in a space of care for this part of you that perhaps has needed a little more attention. And before we close up, let's also just turn our attention to the part that originally was having some reactions to the uncomfortable feeling part. And as you tune in, again, just thanking this other part for the information that it's given us and for showing up today. And just thanking your whole system for being present today. And just a general loving, caring scan through your body. Really allowing your system to know that all parts are welcome, all feelings are okay, and that in fact the feelings often have very, very important things to teach us. Very important roles to play in your system, in the complexity of what happens in your inner world. I'm really just extending some appreciation right now. for the complexity and beauty of what's within. And as you prepare to come out of this meditation, you may want to wiggle your fingers or your toes, just grounding back into where you are right now. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. So thank you for being with me today, and I hope that this meditation is a gift for you and that it becomes a gift, that you're welcome to use it whenever you want to really tune in and kind of be with these feelings that may be a little more challenging. And hopefully you receive some good information from your system today about these feelings that we were working with and being with. And that as you continue to do this work, that it becomes more and more loving and caring inside between you and all the parts that exist. So I look forward to being with you all again next week. And thank you for being here today.